The Hornet's main purpose is to perform strike missions. To carry out these missions, the aircraft can carry a very large and diverse collection of ordnance. General purpose and laser-guided iron bombs, AGM-62 Walleye glide bombs, AGM-65E Mavericks, CBU-59B Rockeye cluster bombs, BLU-107B Durandal anti-runway bombs, HARM high-speed anti-radiation missiles, and even the B-57 tactical thermonuclear device are all part of the Hornet's inventory for air-to-ground missions. To deliver this collection of ordnance, you'll be learning tactics and techniques for strafing, bombing, and the standoff employment of the Walleye, Maverick, and HARM. Your technique will develop as you fly more missions. Take into account the construction of the characteristics of the target and the surrounding enemy defenses as you choose your method for attack. New HUD symbology is introduced in the topics to follow. Two of the new symbols are the pull-up Q and breakaway X. If any air-to-ground bombs or missiles are selected, the pull-up Q is displayed on the HUD. The distance between the pull-up Q and the velocity vector is your indicator for ground avoidance. If the two symbols intersect, the breakaway X is displayed on the HUD. At this point, immediately initiate at least a 4G pull-up and hold through to pull out to avoid the terrain. The ground comes up fast sometimes, so keep your head in the game. Complete the following sections and you'll have the knowledge to properly employ weapons from the Hornet in almost all situations. The key then will be practice, enabling you to execute the tactic and destroy the target. Before getting into the cockpit for your mission, configure your aircraft's loadout. Select your mission, then click on the pre-flight button. The Hornet is not able to carry every weapon on every station. Having the appropriate weapon can be critical to the success of your mission. Select the default loadouts or hand-pick the weapons best suited to your mission. You begin your mission in the cockpit. The station loadout is displayed on the left DDI. Pressing the S key displays your stores, which are now in a safe mode. Press the right bracket key to display your air-to-ground weapons and arm them for delivery. Stores are identified by symbols and are labeled, including the number remaining. To cycle through your air-to-ground weapons, also use the right bracket key. The currently selected weapon is boxed and highlighted. The number in the upper center of the display is the number of cannon rounds remaining. Displayed in the upper left corner is your remaining rounds of chaff bundles and flares. Attacking targets using your aircraft's cannon is called strafing. Use strafing against multiple soft targets such as jeeps, small tanks, and armored personnel carriers in a fairly benign threat environment. The run-in can be made at high or low altitude. Locate the target in the appropriate air-to-ground radar mode. Cycle through your air-to-ground weapons in the left DDI using the right bracket key. Select the gun. The HUD will display your selected weapon and the number of rounds remaining. With gun selected, the gun reticle also appears in the HUD. Use Control-A to display radar altitude. At about 5 miles from the target, the aircraft should be level at 3,000 feet and about 350 knots. Once the target is in sight, it will start to drop down on the HUD. Maintain level flight at 3,000 feet. Do not keep the nose on the target. If you do, you'll most likely come in too shallow. As the target disappears behind the nose, wait about 3 seconds, then push the nose over and reduce the throttles. The target should be about 15 degrees nose down at this point. Steady the velocity vector on the base of the target, allowing the gun reticle to settle on the target. As you pass 1,100 feet, squeeze the trigger, allowing the velocity vector and the gun reticle to drift up across the target. Release the trigger when passing 700 to 800 feet and pull back on the stick for approximately a 4G pull-up until the nose is 15 degrees nose high. At 3,000 feet, level out and proceed straight ahead and away from the target. There are a few pitfalls to strafing. Pulling up by 700 feet to ensure safe ground clearance is one of them. Scan your altitude and be off target on time. If you need another pass, take it. Avoiding AAA is another pitfall. Trying to strafe an area blanketed by AAA is basically suicide. Knock out the AAA batteries before strafing your target. We'll cover one of the best methods of dealing with AAA in the section on harm targeting. The mainstay of the Hornet's arsenal is the general purpose bomb. The CCIP, or Continuously Computed Impact Point, is the main targeting method for these freefall bombs. You can use CCIP in the conventional bomb mode or the auto-release mode. Indication of which mode is displayed in the HUD. Gun firing may also be performed in this mode. CCIP in the conventional bomb mode provides you with a continuous indication of where the bombs are going to impact at any point in time. Select a bomb using the right bracket key. The CCIP mode is now engaged. HUD display indicates the displayed impact line, or DIL, in the CCIP cross. The CCIP cross indicates the point of impact if you were to release the bomb immediately. The CCIP cross may or may not be visible depending on the aircraft's attitude. The displayed impact line provides a steering reference to aid you in maneuvering your aircraft to position the CCIP cross on your target. The basic steps when using CCIP in the conventional bomb mode are proper altitude, nose over to place a CCIP cross on the target, release, pull up and out. Following topics will discuss specific bombing techniques. To toggle between CCIP, conventional, and auto modes, press Shift right bracket. Before a target is designated or pickled, the auto mode HUD symbology displays the air-to-ground designator reticle and the displayed impact line. Maneuver your aircraft to position the reticle on the target and press the trigger, return, or enter key. The target designator diamond, or TD, will appear over the selected point on the ground, and the azimuth steering line, or ASL, will be activated. Pressing the right bracket key will undesignate the target, allowing you to redesignate as needed. HUD readouts include time to go, or TTG, which is the seconds remaining before release, and the distance to target. Maneuver your aircraft to position the velocity vector on the azimuth steering line. As your target nears, the release cue will appear above the velocity vector on the ASL. It will move down the ASL until you reach your release point, at which point the bombs are automatically released. Press the 7 key and follow the bombs as they close on the target. When using CCIP as your method of delivery, strive for quick and accurate target designation. The time your nose points at the target is called tracking time, and since your flight path is very predictable during this phase, you're very vulnerable. Designate quick and pull through the solution to release your bombs.